Before transcribing the dictation of this cylinder, you should adjust the tone and volume controls in the manner already explained by your teacher. On every cylinder you transcribe, you should make these adjustments before you begin transcribing. Please do this now. The use of the index for determining letter length. With each ediphone cylinder you receive comes a strip of paper or celluloid that bears complete instructions from the dictator respecting the transcribing of the material on the cylinder, period. This strip of paper or celluloid is known as the index, an expression you should carefully note, for from now on you will hear, see, and use it quite often, period. Either type of index, paper or celluloid, can be used with all ediphone transcribing instruments and gives you the same information in the same way, period. The index plays such an important part in ediphone voice writing that it is frequently referred to as the brain of the ediphone method, third paragraph. Before you begin to transcribe any cylinder, indeed even before you put your letterhead and carbon copy sheets into your typewriter, you should note from the index, for it will be indicated there, how long the letter is, period. This latter information is very important to you, period. For without it, you cannot tell how to place your letter on the page, period. Obviously, unless you are using window envelopes, you do not begin the address of a short 3-line letter at the same point in relation to the left edge of the letterhead and in relation to the top edge as you do when the letter is a long 24-line one, period. And placing the letter properly on the page makes for good margins and pleasing appearance, period. On the celluloid index, the length of the letter can be judged by the position of the pencil mark made by the dictator, which mark indicates the end of the letter. On the paper index, the dictator, by touching a key marked L, cuts a vertical line to mark the end of the letter, period, paragraph. Since it is so important to you to know how to judge the length of the letter you are transcribing, let us concentrate on that subject and leave to a later cylinder all explanation about how corrections are indicated, period, paragraph. In your textbook, you will see the index for this cylinder, period. It is in the top space that the dictator indicates the length of each of his letters, period. When the dictator completes a letter, he makes a vertical line in the top space at the point where his letter ended, period. On the celluloid index, the dictator indicates the length of letter with a vertical pencil mark, period. On the paper index, the dictator cuts a vertical line similar to the pencil mark on the celluloid index, period. Naturally, letters or items vary in length, period. You gauge the length of the letter by the space between each two vertical lines drawn by the dictator, period, paragraph. On the top space, you will also notice a series of printed marks like those on a ruler, period. Each fifth printed mark is heavier, period. The distance between each of these heavier marks represents approximately 9 lines of dictation when set up in letter form, period. Of course, this approximation varies with the speed with which the dictator talks and the length of typewritten line, period, paragraph. Now to review. An index accompanies every ediphone cylinder, period. This index informs you of the number of letters on a cylinder and the length of each letter, period. This information is indicated by means of vertical lines made by the dictator in the top space, period. Each of such vertical lines indicates the ending of a letter, period. You judge the length of the letter by the space between vertical lines, period. On the ruler or printed marking, the space between each of these heavier marks indicates approximately 9 lines of dictated material, period. You should position your letter on a standard 8 1/2 by 11 paper accordingly, period. With a little practice, you will quickly develop the ability to judge from these markings the length of the letter and will thus be enabled to position it properly on the letterhead, period.